Hi, y'all. Welcome back to Samantha's Beauty Confessions. Today, I am talking to my friend Summer Labayan, who you may know on Instagram as mainly Summer. Summer is a hairstylist from San Diego, as well as a L'Oreal Professional Ambassador and an independent educator. She teaches both color classes as well as social media classes. And on today's episode, she shares with us a little bit about her journey, everything from how she got into the industry, how she's able to manage everything that she does, all the different hats that she wears as a mother of three. She also talks about how she was able to land her position with L'Oreal and gives tons of tips and tricks when it comes to social media and content creation and just being a really successful influencer hairstylist in today's industry. And today's episode, just getting to talk to Summer today, reminds me of exactly why I love the internet, why I love social media so much. Yes, it does have its bad qualities, obviously, but it comes with really amazing friendships, at least for me. And Summer is one of those really amazing friendships that I have developed through Instagram. And I know that after hearing today's episode, you are going to love her just as much as I do. So let's go ahead and welcome Summer to the podcast. Hi, Summer. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I am so excited to talk to you today about, your story, your journey in the industry.
Let's go. I'm excited. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're an open book, you said. So we're gonna chat all things. Do you want to start off by telling a little bit about like how long you've been in the industry, how you decided to be a hairstylist, how you got into from the get go, I guess.
From 20 years ago,
Yeah, from 20 years ago.
20 plus years ago. Yeah, so I started, it was my mom. I was in high school and she knew that school was not for me. I was definitely, probably like all of us hairstylists went to school just for social fun, but like learning not my forte. Um, so she's the one that really pushed me to do the ROP program, which is, I don't know if you guys have this, but it's like during high school, regional occupational, whatever the P would program, I guess.
Hmm.
Um, so basically I went to high school half day and then the second half I went to beauty school,
Okay.
my second half of my senior year. So it was really cool. So one, it was like super discounted because the state like helps fund it. And then two, I was like halfway through. So I just went my senior summer, I went and finished.
Okay.
So I was 18 when I got my license.
So did you know though? Because we do have something like that here. It's called the Votech where I'm at, but it's the
Okay.
same concept. They go, I think, like junior, senior year, or you can go senior and then a summer, I think. And yeah, it gets paid for, like you were saying, which is really cool for people who, because cosmetology school is expensive, and
Yeah.
it's a good way if you know you want to do it. But I know a lot of people who didn't love school so much, like what you were saying, that went to that and then ended up not doing hair. So did you know like automatically that you loved it just from the get go, or were you kind of like, I'm just going to get it to get it and make my mom happy?
I like I feel like my mom knew. My mom I mean I always so I was the one too that I would go get my hair cut and then I'd go and like this is like when I'm older too, like high school, and I'd be cutting my face frame, like vivid memories of that, like fixing the
Oh
haircut
my gosh.
that someone gave me, not knowing like, oh, I'm going to be a hairstylist one day. So I think my mom just saw that and then her intuition or whatever just pushed me to do that. Um, and then I've loved my career all 20 something years.
But your
So
mom didn't do hair, right?
no,
Okay.
nobody like no my uncle that I don't know, but my mom's sister's ex-husband was a hairstylist.
Okay.
So we had him to like he's the one that told me where to assist after beauty school in the salon I'm from Sacramento. So he told me like to go to Mosaics, assist there, and kind of like started my journey, but I don't like know him. He's not blood. So
Mm-hmm.
but nobody's a hairstylist. But my mom is very artsy. My mom is very much an artist. So I feel like I have that just in a different way
Mm,
with hair.
mhm. And that's kinda similar to, my mom was it sounds like you're similar to how my mom was. She used to cut her own hair and do all the things on herself. I didn't have that, that's not a part of my story. It didn't come naturally to me, so it's cool to hear that, like, you were doing it at a young age too, and it's always been something that like, a gift of yours.
Yeah.
So you assisted, though, after you got out of school before you started, like, taking your own clients?
Yeah, so I went, graduated, then because my uncle, he's like a pretty big hairstylist in Sacramento, um, he got me like an in with that salon, and then I worked there straight out of school
Okay, and then
and did
now
10 months.
now do you do, like, booth rent or do you do commission?
So I was commissioned most of my career. I just recently went out on my own and did, I'm in a sola now.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was I don't know, commission I feel like gets such a bad rap. I mean, it was great for me. I have 3 kids, so time is money. It's always been that way. So I felt like, and as having an assistant, like I have my own assistant. I've had multiple, like through, I think the last 10, 12 years, I've had an assistant. So I just didn't want to deal with that, like hiring, if they didn't show up, what do you
Mhm.
do? So I feel like commission just kind of worked. And then I didn't have to be responsible for anything. I just came, did my job, left. And I always worked for pretty much like really good people. So it's always been great.
Yeah, okay, so you have 3 kids, you just said, and I feel like it is so hard because for anyone who doesn't know, Summer is also really, I don't know if into social media, but really involved in social media. It's a big part of her job too, and it's a lot for me to do without kids, so I can't imagine having 3. Do you have anyone that helps you with your social media now, or, like, is that all you doing it?
It's all me.
It is?
Oh, well, my kid, so now my daughter, so here's the good thing about having older kids is my daughter's super into CapCut.
Mhm,
And recently I'm like, why am I not tapping into this? Like these kids like just know how to do technology so good, right? So
mhm.
so recently I was like, I need a CapCut lesson. So she's teaching me how to use CapCut. And that's been like, literally I told her yesterday when I picked her up from school, I'm like, okay, so we need I need another session. I need you to like, because CapCut's so involved,
No,
but
CapCut is that's why I'm laughing. CapCut is, like, really hard for me to understand also, so maybe I need to find, like, a middle school or high school girl and see if they can give me a lesson too.
dude, you totally do. Because and she just does it, right? I'm like, no, 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 I need to do it, which they get annoyed about, but I'm like, I don't care. I have to do it or else I don't learn.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, she's like, "I don't wanna give you a tutorial, I just wanna do it for you," and you're like, "No,
yeah.
that doesn't help me," because she's not gonna be there to do it all the time. But yeah, I think CapCut is, like, it's definitely something that I need to get into as well because it's so trendy and so, like, I think it's the way of the future with video editing.
Yeah, and I think that quality is so much better. It's
Mhm.
just there's a lot, which is cool, but it's just it could be so basic and so advanced all at the same time.
Yeah, but so you do though all of your filming and all of the like the editing and photography, all the stuff that's you. You don't have any social media management.
No, all me.
So how do you find the time to do it though? Because don't your kids? I'm assuming they play like game or sports and they're involved in activities and stuff that keep you pretty busy.
So I only work 3 days, so I think that helps. So Monday, I'm off Monday today, Wednesday, and then the weekend. So I try to do a lot like on my days off, like Monday and Wednesdays. Like I'm off, but I'm like trying to edit, trying to
Hmm.
piece things together. I'm also though not the type of person I don't batch content. Like my brain doesn't work that way.
Mm-mm.
I'm on the fly. So I don't know.
I'm on the
I
fly
just
too, but
you just do it.
but I think that I that's what everyone says that has kids. Maybe when I have kids, I'll just become like a better version of myself. I don't know. I don't batch content either, but it's like I what I find is I I try to edit my videos and like get creative and stuff on my off days, but like my brain hurts and I'm tired from the salon and you have 3 other humans to take care of plus a husband. So I'm just like moms are just like super women.
Yeah. Well, okay, so also I think I I sacrifice somewhat of like my kids, right?
Mhm.
Like they see me on my phone all the time. Um, but I just try to tell them like it's just been like now it's paying off, but all those years of just grinding basically, has gotten me now to this point. So I mean, part of it's that like do they hurt? Probably a little bit because I'm not present sometimes because I'm over here like editing and stuff. Yes, but that's just reality of life
Well, and they're older,
too.
right? You said you have a 15-year-old, and then how old are the other two?
So 17, 13, and then 10
Okay. Yeah, so I feel like that age is a little bit they probably
easier.
understand that you're on your phone more than like a 1, 2-year-old crawling around on the ground and just getting into everything.
Yes. Yes. And I feel like the only one that's like I try to be present more with my youngest because
Mhm.
I think she doesn't fully get it. The other two, yeah. I mean, my son is the 17-year-old. He's like busy, doesn't come home. He's taking
He's
AP
too
classes.
cool for y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the 13-year-old can't be bothered. She's the one that I like came to. I'm like, I need CapCut
Yeah.
lessons, but she's in her cave in her room. So
So how
yeah, they don't.
you said though that like it's paying off now. How long have you been like when did you start using social media for your business? I think that I started using mine like in 2018. I feel like obviously Instagram was around before that, but I think that the hair influencer people kind of took off around 2016, 17, 18. When did you start it?
Um Probably maybe 2019,
Okay.
20 or no, probably 2018 because I kind of did it because I was trying to like I was also the girl in the back room that was like, I am never doing social media.
Mm.
So to be here makes my friends laugh because I've just surpassed all of them. And they're like, who are you? Who are you? You were like so anti social media. Um, but I feel like once I started doing it, I just got like hooked. And plus, too, like at that point, I've been doing hair for 15 years or, whatever, like a long time. So it's just kind of like another adventure, another element to this career.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would say 2018.
I was
So yeah.
actually anti social media too in the beginning, which is crazy. I think that I don't know what it was for you, but I think for me it was just like I saw the benefit of it, but I didn't think that no one ever thinks that they'll get there, right? Was that how it kind of was for
Mhm.
you, or why were you against it? Just like the time commitment, or what was it?
Yeah, I think time commitment. I didn't really get it. Like I'd done hair for so long before social media, so I didn't need it for a clientele. Like I already had an established clientele, so I think I saw it as like, oh well, people are using this to build a clientele, not the whole like. I don't think the influencer world was like
Mm-hmm.
that big at that time either. And it wasn't until like I decided I was going to leave my salon after 10 or 12 years of being there that I was like, ooh, okay, I need a social media. Like I have no portfolio. I have no way of showing people other than like I have a clientele,
Mm-hmm.
but like why I was looking for another salon that's going to be like advance my career.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of started it because of that.
Yeah, and I think that, there's so many ways that people can use social media, like building a clientele is one, but what you just said's another. And then some people literally just start it because they know they want to do like influencing. There's just the sky's truly the limit. But as far as like the imposter syndrome of it and stuff, did you ever experience that at all?
I'm like all the time, girl. I still do.
I
Some
know.
days I'm like, what? What am I doing? Like, do people even care? Like, who am I? I don't know. It's a wild. Social media is like a wave, right? It's like great, then you're crashing, then you're great again.
It is a
It's a
wave.
wild ride.
It's
Yeah.
a big wave. But I almost think that like now, when we started it, it was a little, I don't want to say easier, but it wasn't as saturated. Like now I feel like it's super saturated. And so that kind of messes with you even more. I give props to like new stylists now that are just starting their pages because it's like, it's a, it's a crazy world out there in the digital space.
Oh my gosh, it's so hard to grow. I mean, it can be done, but it's just, yeah, same. And I also think like, oh my gosh, what if I would have started even sooner? Like it was so much easier in the
I
beginning.
know.
Like, yeah,
So much easier.
I when I lost, I don't know if you knew, but I lost my page for a hot second in what, March.
Mhm.
And that was like, I was like literally telling my husband, I'm like, I can't rebuild. I can't. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like,
Hmm.
I don't want to start from zero again.
Did
It would be
did you
so
did you
hard.
have the blue check mark when you lost it?
Yes.
Because Krista was on the podcast like a few weeks ago, and she was talking about her situation with that. But so do you still
I'm the
have?
one that broke the news to Krista, actually,
You are?
because we were like part of the same. We were like the same group of people that got hit, and yeah, I called her and I was like, "Hey, girl, you lost your account," and she's like on a date with this guy. I don't know if she told
No,
you
she
that.
she's like, you're ruining my night.
Yeah, she's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Oh, you don't know?
You're
Sorry."
like, sorry to ruin the date. I'd have been if I
Yeah,
was on a date, I would literally be like, I have this date's over. Like my career's over. I got to go home and deal with this.
literally. I mean, they're still together, so it worked out. But yeah, I mean, we were on the phone. I mean, me and her are like best friends, so we were on the phone for like at least 20 minutes, like talking about it, and I don't know. That was
Do
wild
you
too.
still have the blue check mark after that?
I just got it again. And why did I do it? I got it because I was trying to validate my Facebook because so Katie, KTB Hair, kind of was like the person that helped a lot of us get it back. Um, so she kind of went through Facebook. So you have to validate or yeah, validate, is that the right
Mm-hmm.
word?
Mm-hmm.
Your Facebook. So then, because if you lose your Instagram, you have no way of getting a hold of anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So the blue check almost becomes irrelevant, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now I pay for both. So Instagram has now gotten more money from me because I pay for Facebook and Instagram in case my Instagram goes, then I just through Facebook can message somebody because I'm verified.
Yeah, that's what Krista was saying to do, and I actually went and did it after our episode because, yeah, it's our job, and like that's what's like it seems so crazy that like it can affect us like that, but when it's your actual income that you're talking about, like I don't know how it
Hmm.
couldn't affect you like that. Like it your whole life could be flipped upside down just in an instant, which is so scary. But it's like the blessing and the curse with social media, because it gives us so many opportunities that we probably wouldn't have without it. At least for sure I wouldn't. I'm in like a tiny town. um, but it just makes everything a lot easier to just be seen by people.
Oh, 100%. And I feel like even I mean, I'm in San Diego, it's a huge town, but I feel like I would still never have these opportunities. It's because of social media. I'm able to like travel and teach. I work with L'Oreal, like all these things that would have never been possible prior to social media. Or just, I mean, teaching would just probably look different. You would work for a brand and teach,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
The like independent education really wasn't a thing prior to social media.
Yeah, so how did you get into like the education part of it? Like was it just like how far into your career would you say that that happened?
Well, I started so at the salon that prior to social media, I started an assistant program with my best friend. So I've been teaching forever, just like on a small scale for the salons that I work for. And then that's kind of why I started. So I started social media to leave my salon. Then once I did that, and got to my next place, I really was like, okay, my next goal is to teach and teach classes. And so I knew I needed to build my social media so that people knew who I was.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how I got into it. So probably it was after 2020
Okay.
I like started teaching
And when did you
like
start work?
classes.
And when did you start working with L'Oreal? Because those are two separate things, right? Like you do the independent
Hmm.
education, and then you also are an ambassador for L'Oreal, right?
Yeah. Um, I used to do independent campaigns for them prior to becoming an ambassador. That was probably like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 or 4 months into that, another brand came to me and asked me to work for them. And so I went to L'Oreal and was like, hey, this brand offered me a brand ambassador. I used L'Oreal my whole career, so it makes more sense for me just to be with L'Oreal. And so I was like, are you guys looking? Is this an opportunity? Um, and then months later, I signed with them.
Okay, so see, you pitched yourself out there. I think that's what
Heck
a
yeah.
lot of people need to hear, just because I think that sometimes, the imposter syndrome kicks in and you're like, I don't want to embarrass myself by just shooting my shot. But if there's something you want out there, like, why not do it? The worst they can say is no. And maybe they just didn't know you were interested and they just need a second to think about it. But like, you're proof that you don't have to wait for the invitation. You can kind of create it yourself.
100%. Plus, I always tell people, I'm like, it's still a no. Like you're still going to be at the same point than if you just ask.
Mm-hmm.
Either it's going to be great and they say yes, or you're still no. We're not right now. We don't have a position, whatever. Like, but at least you can move on with your life. And I could have either gone with that other brand or whatever. At least I would have had clarity on what the next route is going to be or whatever.
Yeah. So did they, like, after you emailed them and or contacted them and said that, did they, like, were they looking for a position, or you said a couple months went by? So did you have to like let that other brand know something while you waited, or did you kind of get enough feedback to know that something was going to come out of the L'Oreal thing?
So they weren't really necessarily looking. Also, there had been like somebody had left, the main boss left. So it kind of was like months later because nobody took that position. So my contract, well, they actually, that's sorry. No, they wrote me a contract. It just was wrong a few times. And if you've ever worked with legal, it can take a long time for them to fix contracts.
Mm-hmm.
So within that time, the girl left. And so then it got stuck on the desk. So it's kind of just like in a limbo for a while just because of like the way things worked out.
Mm-hmm. But you knew
But no,
it was gonna happen.
yeah, and they made a position for me. So no, they didn't have it, but they kind of made it because they liked working with me and liked the work that I put out.
Mm-hmm. See, so everyone listening needs to shoot their shot. And I tell people the same thing with, like, even if they aren't already working with a brand, like you said, you were already doing like campaigns with them, but maybe to someone who isn't doing a campaign but wants to, like, I always encourage them to like send the brand or email the brand whatever content
hmm
they create. Like, do you agree with that too?
Well, yeah. Well, actually, I got this whole opportunity because of my friend Shauna. So I am a talker. So I've always made friends with like the reps that come into the salon. Like I tell people in my classes all the time, like make friends with the reps. You never know like where they're gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
Like they might be a rep now, but like my friend Shauna is now a regional something for L'Oreal. And it was her that L'Oreal came to her and was like, hey, we're looking for influencers or people to make content in San Diego. So she gave my name plus two others. And that's how I got that opportunity. So, make friends with everyone, talk to everyone because people, if you're a nice human, which most people are, like people are going to remember that. And then you never know who's going to mention your name to somebody.
The world is so much smaller than I think people realize a lot of times. And I
Yeah.
think too that just like you're saying, make friends with people, but think of everything that you do almost as like networking, and not in a sense of like be
hmm
fake, because don't be fake. Like, I fully believe that there is an opportunity out there for everybody, but you have to like put yourself in rooms to get that opportunity. Like, most of the time it's not just going to come find you. There are probably those rare occasions where it does, but most of the time, even all the opportunities that I've gotten, like, I've pitched myself to many different brands and people, and it's just kind of snowballed and led me to other things later that I would have never even thought about or dreamed could happen. So I'm all about it.
100%. Yeah, for sure. I mean, go to it, even all the hair shows. Like, I'm like, I maybe don't always go to like learn something, but I always go to like, who am I going to talk to? Who am I going to meet? I mean, and then years later, everyone goes, the same people, you make friends. So it's always such a good time.
Mm-hmm.
But I also said, like, I never say no to any opportunity, even if it scares the shit out of me, which has led me to so many great opportunities. Like I became a Modern Salon 100. And so therefore I met Anne, who's the like CEO of Modern. and she invited me to the artist session in LA. And it was there that I said that in front of everybody, that I'm like, oh, I never say no. And so at the end, she's like, hey, do you want to speak on stage at Modern Salon? So you just like,
You're like, well, now
just
now
never
I'm
say
scared
no.
to death that I can't say no because I just said I don't.
Uh, exactly what I said to her. I said, well, I told you I'd never say no, so I'm going to say yes. I've never done it, but I also was speaking. I already had a stage thing with Jacqueline Pro, so I had that prior to Modern Salon. So it kind of like worked out. But yes, for everyone out there, never say no. Say yes and just do it, because
Figure it out later.
yeah, 100%.
Well, and people are always asking like, I just don't feel ready to get on stage. I don't think that you ever will feel ready. You just have to do it, and then it's going to probably be awkward. Like the first time I went on stage, awkward. I still get nervous when I go on stage, but it's not as nervous as I was the first time, and just each time's going to get easier. But yeah, I fully agree. And I even tell people, this could be like controversial, but like some people don't want to do things if they're not paid, or if they're not paid as much as they think they should be. But I'm of the mindset that like as long as it's something that you want to do, that's going to get you closer to whatever that end goal is. Obviously you don't want to do it for free forever, but like if you do it for free the first time just to prove that you can and show your abilities, like I think that's a really good opportunity for, the rest of your career.
100%. I mean, I do lots of things unpaid. Well, not a lot, but I did in the beginning
Mm-hmm.
so much, right? Where it's now gotten me to where I am. But yes, sometimes things are just about exposure, like getting your name out there, people seeing you. Um, it's not always about the money, for sure.
Yeah, and no educator or influencer or anybody like was a pro at the beginning. I mean, you just nobody probably thinks about it though, because like those videos and stuff are so far down on their feed, but if you scroll far enough down, like you will be able to find something. And don't compare yourself to like the now version of those people. Like compare yourself to where they were, where you're at in your career.
100%. I should scroll down and look at my first videos. I bet you they're pretty funny.
Me too. I really should too. But speaking of videos, so like in the salon, do you film a lot of your services, right? Like you have a tripod pretty much going all the time.
Yeah. No,
No?
I no. I have spurts where I'm like really good. I'm guessing you're probably the same, where it's like I'm on. So like recently I've been on, and even I told my assistant yesterday that I was like, dude, I put the tripod up because I taught at L'Oreal. So last week I taught on stage about content creation. I'm like, okay, well, I have to do the things that I do, and
Mm-hmm.
like so I'm like, let me practice with my tripod, because usually my assistant will film. Sometimes I'll bust out the tripod, which actually, honestly, I love the tripod because it's stable. It doesn't move. It gets everything. And I was telling him that I'm like, okay, I just need to put the tripod out because I have so much content now that I'm able just to go through and make videos, versus like the spur of the moment when I'm like, okay, just film this. And then it doesn't really, there's nothing to it because I didn't film enough.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, the tripod is great. And I need to be better about just putting it out all the time. But I also double book, it's super busy. So it's not always ideal.
I know. I'm the same way, and I go through phases too, but the thing about having something going all the time, because that was actually one thing I was going to ask, is if you prefer to film your videos like longer, or just like little short bursts of whatever it is you're trying to get. Like I think that longer is better, because then you can go in and cut it up and like, you know, narrow it
Yeah.
down to what you want to use, and you have multiple videos, and like you said, they're stable. But the thing about that is the storage space, because I mean, even with like a 1 or 2 terabyte phone, like shit fills up.
So I'm still good. My husband bought me the most, is it 2 terabytes?
Yeah.
I don't even know. He got me the highest phone. Love him for that. Like, he went and got me the new 15 Pro Max last year, and he's like, she needs the biggest one. So I don't have any issues, but I also don't film in 4K
I'm trying to see
because of
like
the
what I'm
storage.
trying to see if people are watching on YouTube and I'm looking down. I'm trying to see what mine is. I think it's the terabyte, but Yeah, it's slowly but surely filling up. I don't use 4K either though, so maybe I'm glad to hear you say that because I get a lot of like hate when I talk about that in my social media posts that 4K is the best quality and it is, but it also
But
drains your phone.
well, Instagram can't support 4K, so it compresses it regardless. So why would you film in 4K? And yes, I did a campaign for Olivia Garden and I was like, I'm going to do 4K. This is going to be so great. I have never been so pissed off at my phone because my phone like collapsed. Like it wouldn't work. The storage was maxed out. I couldn't pull my videos off. I had a deadline that this video had to be. Thank God Anne from Olivia Garden is literally an angel and she's like, "No worries." Like it wasn't that serious, but like when you have a campaign deadline, you want to meet it.
Right.
And so I've never been so frustrated and that's why I'm like, I will never film in 4K ever again
I know.
unless
And
the storage thing gets worked out.
well, and people keep saying like if because Instagram doesn't support it. I say that all the time too in my classes, but people are like, "Well, one day it might, and then what are you going to do?" And my answer to that is that I'll still use the videos that I have in 1080p because on a phone you can't tell. Like
Yeah.
you literally cannot tell on a tiny phone screen if it's 1080p or 4K. Now, if we were watching it on a huge like movie theater screen, you could probably tell a little. I don't even know if you really could that much. I don't know if my eyes would notice it.
I don't think, let's be real. When they finally support 4K, are we really going to use those videos
Yeah.
from
Hopefully
last year? Like,
hopefully not.
I mean, I don't even know why I save so much stuff because I go back and I'm like, oh, I'm never going to use that. Like all of 2020 with all the masks, I'm like, why do I even have this content? I
Mhm.
will never use that ever
So
again.
do you delete it?
No, I haven't, but I've thought about it.
I have a little drive. I'll put a link to the little drive in the description of the episode so y'all can get it if you want it. But I got it for at Premiere Orlando this year. I actually recorded on my phone my whole segment because I wanted to be able to get it in like the vertical um,
Mm.
like
Hmm.
format. And those videos are like 45 minutes. And so I don't want them sitting on my phone. So I got that little drive thing and you just plug it directly in and it opens up this app. And it's basically like a little thumb drive for all your content. Now, what I will say is if I ever lose that, those videos are gone. But I'm just hoping that I keep it in a safe place, knock on wood, and
Yeah.
I don't ever lose it. But I would do that if you want to, if anyone listening like needs storage space.
Do you use a camera?
I don't. Do you?
Okay. I do. So I've just put my thumb drives in my camera case.
Uh,
So
wait,
they're just there.
so you film all your content on a camera?
No. So my salon now that I'm at is the lighting is so good that I just use my iPhone. Like I've never been able to use my iPhone to take photos. I
Mm-hmm.
film all my videos on my phone regardless because I feel like the camera's a little dark. Like the aesthetics, not what I love. I
Mm-hmm.
love the iPhone for video. Um, but I used to take all my photos with a camera. And I just think but I took all my photos outside because our salon lighting wasn't great, or I just didn't, it wasn't my aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
So outside photos, a camera is like perfect. You need it because the iPhone doesn't adjust the saturation good enough outside. So the photos always look blown out. They always are super warm. I don't, for me personally, like where I work. So I always used a camera. And now I take photos indoor and I feel like I need to get just a new lens probably to like let a little bit more light in because they're just too dark and not crisp enough with my camera. So I just use my iPhone.
Okay, yeah, but you do all the videos on your phone.
Yes,
Just
for
because
sure.
I've heard that I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard that Instagram can tell if you use a phone versus a camera and for video content. And they supposedly push iPhone videos more than they push camera videos. I don't know if that's true.
Oh, interesting. I have never heard that, but you know what? Instagram does weird things.
Well,
So
and
I wouldn't put it past them.
there's literally so many like opinions and myths out there that I don't even know what to believe because like one day I'll hear this and then 2 days later I hear something totally
Yeah.
contradicting what I just heard. What camera do you use for anybody who like is looking to buy one?
I love the Canon Rebel SL3. It's super simple to use. I don't think it's a middle of the road. Like it's not, it's like maybe 700. And I use the 18 to 55 millimeter lens,
How much is the
but it's
lens?
so the seven something is the package deal.
Okay.
It comes with that lens,
Okay.
and it's like a standard lens.
Because lenses can get super expensive.
Yes, but so Andrew Does Hair is an amazing. I don't know. Have you ever talked to him?
Mm-mm.
He does all things camera. He's so nice on Instagram. So he recently, I messaged him about the whole issue of trying to use my camera indoors, and he was the one that's like, okay, get these lenses. And then he buys his from eBay, and he says they're pretty much fine and they're used. You can kind of see like people like their ratings and whether they're good or not. But the lens he told me to get is like 70 or 80 bucks. So
On
not too
eBay? Oh
bad.
my
But
gosh.
it's used. But it's
No, but
used.
that's still really good. I mean, because like
Yeah.
lenses can be like $8,000 or something crazy.
Yeah.
Which,
I don't know about 8,000, but yeah.
no, you know who Grayson is?
Oh my gosh. Grayson spent
I don't know
$8,000?
if it's 8, but it's for sure 5 or 6. I mean, it's up there, and he said it at a class. But his lens like edits for you, like you just
That's
put it on
crazy.
and it blurs the background. I need to confirm with him now that I'm like outing how much his lens is. I really don't 100% know, but it was a lot. I mean, it was pretty
It's the
close to that.
85, right? The 85 millimeter ones.
I don't know. It's big. Like it's a big, huge lens. Like it
Yeah.
intimidates the shit out of me. And that's what I think cameras do to a lot of people. So it's good to know that like the one you have isn't super complicated. And then do
Mm-mm.
you do your editing like how do you edit your photos?
So I love Lightroom. So I use Lightroom now for everything. I feel you can't, so the only downside with iPhone photos is that you can't put it in a million apps because each time you put it in an app, it takes away a little bit of the quality, right? With versus like a phone or a camera photo, it already is a higher quality, so you can put it in multiple apps and still have great quality.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like Lightroom really allows me just to like do most things. The only thing it doesn't do is like face. So like if somebody's faced on and I need to like edit a little bit of their face, I'll put it in like Facetune
Okay.
just to like smooth. I tell my clients I will never post a photo that I wouldn't want posted. So
Yeah, and
I
I think Grayson uses that Face app. Maybe it's just called
yes.
Face.
No, it's Face App.
Do you use that too, or no?
Sometimes. So Face App is I mean, Face App I love. I'm like, you want to like filter the shit out of your face? Face App. It but
Yeah, it
there's that.
yeah it can make you look real good, too good, maybe
Yeah,
some may say,
yeah.
like
I'm like,
catfish.
ooh, for sure, for
I mean,
sure.
but
So,
but if you like, if someone doesn't have makeup on, because you can like put like a light makeup on people just with the
yeah.
touch of a button, which is so crazy. You can like, if y'all have never looked at that app, you should. You can like put new teeth. I mean, you get like a full set of veneers with Face App.
Oh my gosh, you totally can. The app's wild. I mean, I love it, but I feel like I would just suggest to people like one, maybe two, do not go higher because then I feel like you're venturing into this little AI-ish controversy on
Yeah,
Instagram.
and honestly, you don't want to look like what you don't look like, you know?
Yeah.
I think Lightroom's great because you can just like select the places that you want to edit, and that way it doesn't get into the controversy of like not, not being real of like what the hair looks like.
Yes. And then two, they just added the blur effect, which is like awesome because I feel like before they didn't have that and then it was hard. Then you needed to put it into another app to blur the background.
Mhm.
So they have that option now too.
Um
It's like such a good app.
do you do
I
like
don't think
the
it's too
the
expensive.
paid version? That's just what I was about to ask.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
T-
I pay I'm like, you don't even want to know. I don't even know what my app payments for the month. It's
I
insane
don't
how much I
either,
pay for.
but I know that I get a lot of emails like your Apple subscription receipt. And it's like, shit, I have no clue what that's for. Like Apple tricks us because they just call it Apple. So we don't really know like the 12 million apps we're paying for.
I I'm like, how do I disconnect it and start all over. Because
Mhm.
I feel like there's things that I don't even know what I'm paying for. And my husband's like, what is this Apple charge? What is this Apple charge? I'm like, I don't
You're like,
know.
"It's
I
it's it's a
tried.
write-off, babe. It's a write-off. We can write that off." Okay, so as far as, like, taking videos and photos of your clients, do you have them sign a waiver or, like, are they pretty just,
No.
like, lenient?
Yeah, no. I feel like it just comes with the job, right? Or it comes with them seeing me. And not everybody wants their photo or video taken, which I know that. But I was just actually when I taught at L'Oreal, I was like, it's amazing how many people that I don't even think to like video, and I'll just randomly be like, "Oh, I'm gonna video this little piece of your hair, the back of the hair, like one specifically." And then she came back and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I think I saw the back of my head on your Instagram." So like even the people that you think don't ever want to be videoed, sometimes they
It
do,
makes them
and we
feel
just don't
special, I
know.
think.
Yeah. And there's ways to photograph someone's face so that you don't see it, and
Mhm.
like making people. Also, my other tip that I always love to share is like take the photo and then show the person like how great their hair looks, how great they look, like the way you post them. People are in. Then they're like, all right, girl, go. I'm ready.
They have a new, like, profile photo or, like, headshot or, dating app profile pic. They
Yes,
like that.
they do.
And it makes them
And they like, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it makes them feel special because they see their heads or their faces on our
Yeah.
pages.
Yeah, they do. And then too, like I feel like so many people are like, "Can you send that to me? I need to send it to my mom or my sister or my whoever." Like because they can't take photos of their hair the way we do. So, no, people I feel like it's just more acceptable now too. Like it's just the thing. You go to your hairstylist and she's taking content. Or I'll get like new clients. They're like, "Oh, my hairstylist never did this." And like I don't know, they love it.
I would
But
be so awkward as a client. Like, I'm glad I'm the stylist behind the camera because, like, those consultation videos that are really trending right now,
every single day and I ignore it. So I think it's set for maybe 5 hours, 6 hours,
mhm.
ignored every day. And at least I think it's like 8. It's so bad. And I hate when people ask it because then I feel like I like judge myself. I'm like, oh my gosh, I spent 8 hours a day on my phone
I for
scrolling,
sure spend
editing.
8 hours for sure. So don't feel bad. But I think that if we did it on a computer instead of our phones, I think that it would be significantly less because think about it, like when you're filming the video, when you're editing the video, like all of that is time consuming. It really is. And we're trying to condense it down to like 20 or 30 seconds. And then we write our captions on our phone. Everything's done there. So we're not
Yeah.
like a normal computer worker that sits at a
No.
desk all day. It's just all in this little square, which I hate because I think that I don't really know what I think it will look like enough to say it, but I think that our eyes and like our cheeks and stuff are going to have like weird shapes to them as we age that like past generations haven't because we're literally like looking down all the freaking time and our eyes are in that weird position.
Ooh,
Maybe I'm
I've never thought
crazy.
about that.
Maybe I'm crazy, but it makes sense to me. And also, I I hold my phone in this hand and like edit with my right, so I hold it in my left.
Hmm.
My left shoulder hurts so bad all the time because I'm like I don't mean to be tense, but I know I am.
Oh, yes. Well, I can tell too when I've been like editing all day and you're just sitting on the couch and your head's like down, like that muscle strain that I feel like we're not used to because we stand to do hair. Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna be
All
we're
the
gonna be
time.
bent over.
Or your arms hurt
Yeah,
because you're like hold this weird position and it's not heavy, but it's kind of heavy after
after
hours.
8 hours, after 8 solid hours of holding it in our hands. No, I get it, and that's what I think is gonna be like unfortunate for us. Like it's our generation that's gonna have to probably go through it first, but like our parents didn't do that and so like they don't have those issues and we're going to be like having shoulder surgery and neck surgeries from being content
I
creators.
know. I like probably need the blue light glasses. So I'm 40 now. So I feel like I probably need to invest in some blue light glasses because I don't know. The vision's already going. So is it because of age or is it because of staring at a screen all day?
Well, last thing I'll say is that when I started on Instagram, I remember my eyes used to burn so bad. My eyes don't burn anymore. So it's like, are they just burned up to the point that like they don't even feel it? It's kind of like lip plumping gloss. If you put it on someone that's never used it, they're like, holy shit, this burns. I don't even feel the tingle anymore. It's like with my eyeballs.
Oh.
It's not a good thing.
Well, I agree. My eyes have, I don't know. I don't remember that long ago because my memory is horrible, but I don't know. Yeah, they don't burn now
They don't
for
burn
sure.
now.
No.
Okay, well, thank you for everything that you've shared today. Do you have anything like any parting words or any last bit of advice that you would give to somebody just I don't know, a hairstylist out there that is maybe like how you were before you started, doesn't know how to start or where to start or what to do? Anything that you'd share with them that you wish you knew?
Um, so just say yes, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
like say yes to every opportunity, paid or unpaid. I like that. I'm going to add that into my little spiel. Um, and be consistent. And I was like in my class for L'Oreal too. I said consistency can be anything. It could be start with 1 day a week. If you like slowly every Monday I'm going to post one post. And once you get good at that, add on another day. And then I feel like as you start seeing the growth and everything like that, it just becomes addicting and you want to keep going. So, consistency and say yes.
Yeah, and you'll eventually, if you're consistent, you'll get bit by the bug, and then
Yeah.
you'll never be able to get off the train.
No.
It's kind of
Oh, and let me add, surround yourself with others. Like I love you and like so many of our other friends on Instagram, and like Instagram doesn't need to be like a negative place. It has its moments, right? For all human, but I think it's the community that I've gotten from it that makes it so worthwhile.
mm-hmm. Yeah, friendships for sure, and people that just
Yeah,
understand and are wanting the best for you.
100%.
Okay, well, thank you, Summer, for coming on.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.